Hi, I'm Maria. I want to give you a tour of our apartment and show you what we downsized from and how we live now. This is the kitchen. It's a spacious kitchen, and we share it with the tenant, and it's no problem at all. In here is our old bedroom. Believe it or not, we actually used to have a whole room dedicated to one bed and a big closet. Now it fits a whole living room in here. Yeah. And the next one used to be my sewing room. I had all of my sewing machine and my ironing boards, all my fabrics. I had a lot of fabrics. And I think we even had more than guitars and stuff, so basically like a hobby room. And it's not a big room, but it's fine. And yeah, it's a nice bright room for a bedroom. And it's a bedroom now, and this used to be the hobby room. I want to show you what we downsized these two rooms into, because we actually fit everything into to one room basically. Okay, so since this is a big kitchen, I figured I don't need that much space to sew. So right now I use this big table to cut my fabrics. I'm even having some sewing projects out right now down there. And so this is my main big workspace. And then in here, this is our living room. It hasn't changed. In the process, not very much. We decluttered it a lot, got rid of some books and everything, but it's basically the same as before. So the big change has happened in here. Now this is where I sew. It's usually our office space, but when I have a sewing project, I get out my sewing machines and then I sew here and I cut in the kitchen, and it works out just fine. It's a little tight quarters, but it's fine. Yeah, and when I take these away, then we have a nice office space. If we don't want it to take up any room, we can fold this one down, and it only takes up like 1 foot of space from the wall and out. We can also fold it out completely, and it becomes a double length of what it is now. So it'll be like this, and we can use it as a dining room table. It's not the ideal table as a dining room table, but I'm working on a solution for that. But everything takes time. When I pack everything away, I put it in this one closet. So I used to have a whole room filled with all my sewing stuff and hobby things, and now I have one closet. So this is what it looks like. I have all my patterns and stuff down in the bottom, and then I have my fabrics. This is where the sewing machine goes. These are all like the technical like scissors and small utensils that I need. And then up here we just have like threads, and this is our finance books for when I do financing for our business. So we try to downsize all of it. Our bedroom got moved as well, and it's now a Murphy bed. So I built it up high a little bit, so we have storage under here. It fits 2 guitars and 2 small ironing boards and 2 stacking chairs, and they fit perfectly under there. It's very easy to get to it. Up here we have the Murphy bed. I'm just going to show you real quick. The bed is on pistons, so it's not very heavy. Yep. Just clip everything in. We have extra storage behind here. And in here. This is where we store everything, like seasonal clothing, old memories from when we were young, and yeah, jackets, and our suitcases go in there as well. So it's pretty reasonable amount of extra storage. And we also have lights and everything. So our bedroom is now this. And we can fit it in our dining room. We used to have in our bedroom 2 big closets that would be the same amount of this whole wall, I think, almost. And it was stuffed with clothes and towels and linens and everything. But now we downsized it a lot. So this is our entire wardrobe now. This is Morten's side. His jackets and shirts. And this is my side. And then down here we have drawers. Without closing, this is my drawer. And Morten has a bit more because his clothes is heavier and bigger. So he has a bottom too. But other than that, yeah, extra linens and pillows and stuff for when guests come over. Yeah.
So Maria, we're on the terrace here. What's the reason for downsizing? Why do all this?
I think for us it started because we had a big company and everything was so complicated. The finances was complicated and it was very time consuming. There was a lot of rules. We had to figure out how to do this and how to do that, and we had a lot of employees, and I think we wanted something to be simple, and this was an area that I personally could start in. So I just started going through all of our crap and getting rid of stuff. Trying to get to the core, I think, of what is important to me. I think that's where I started. That combined with my fascination of the small house movement. I love optimizing. I love space saving. I love trying to fit a lot into a space in the smartest way possible. I'm very fascinated by that. So I think it was those two things combined. Fascination of small spaces and optimizing with the lack of simplicity in a huge area of our lives otherwise. So yeah, I think that's the main thing, the two main foundations for why I started downsizing. And when we started doing it as a couple, I think it was when the finance part of it became a bigger issue. Not issue, I don't know, but we got fed up with being in debt, and we were just like counting up our accounts, and we had so much debt. I think we had like $100,000 in debt altogether, maybe more, probably more. Yeah. And so we just started looking like, okay, what do we want to do with our lives? How do we want to spend our time? How do we want the rest of our lives to be? And then just really putting down priorities and figuring out, okay, this is our top 3 or top 5, and everything else we're gonna have to be okay sacrificing. And so getting out of debt was a big part of that. And we didn't want, one of our main priorities after getting out of debt was to be able to travel and see the world. And we wanted to try to avoid being strapped down to only being here just because of our debt. So we decided that downsizing our apartment would be great, because that way we could rent out a room or 2 and the money that we make or we save each month on rent is almost the same amount that we save up every month. So having a tenant makes it possible for us to save up every month, and so that way we can still travel. So I think it was those 3 things: wanting to simplify, getting out of debt, and fascination with small spaces.
Thank you. So you already talked a little bit about this, but what do you do with the new time you have on your hands and the resources you get from downsizing?
Yeah. Okay, what do we do without time? We get up in the morning as everyone else, and mainly Morten right now is working on clients. I think we work 20 hours or 30 sometimes hours a week, but that's still very little compared to before. So we have a huge amount of extra time, and that time can be spent with, we take a lot of walks together. It might sound like a stupid little thing, but we spend so much time together, and it's quality time because we take walks maybe once, maybe 3 times a day, and when we walk we talk about different topics, and it helps us get in tune with each other, and so it's really made us closer in a lot of ways. And Morten is in a band. I've been doing a lot of projects. I'm learning French with Fluence. Yay! Got to push that in there. I love that program. And I'm doing a project where I'm trying to make all of my clothes, like 80% of my clothes myself, within a 2-year span. So that's a challenge. And right now I'm doing a project where I'm remodeling a camper. So ripping everything out and rebuilding it. And I'm also doing finances and stuff for the business and everything. But yeah, I'm taking a lot of bike rides together, and we have an exercise bike in our bedroom. And that way we don't have to spend time going to the gym and everything. We can just sit there, and then we have the big screen in the office, and then we plug it in, and then we just sit there, take turns sitting on the bike. Yeah. Those are like the day-to-day things, but without or extra of that, we're also able to travel more. So yeah, I think that's the main thing. The big plus is also that it's easy for us working online to bring our work with us when we travel. So we just work from the morning till maybe 2, and then when we're off we can go explore a new area. So that's a big bonus. And yeah, that's all wrapped up. That's our key points of why we're doing this.